Yeah, I'm curious about this one. This is from 4 months ago. So this is well before the framework, the Framework Pro. I think we'll check this one out, and then maybe watch the Tim Apple video unless someone else has another suggestion. So, when tech influencers don't value right to repair, I don't really watch that much Austin. I don't know what was said by his co-host in this one, but it sounds like it didn't go well.
Hello, and welcome back. Today we are checking out a video from This Is, which is a podcast.
Are we doing a react of a react? Fuck. Okay.
Hosted by Austin Evans and
Framework. No, Lunduk like Framework. No. No, Lunduk likes Framework because Gnome doesn't like Framework. So, logically, he has to like it.
Matt Ancini talk about the Framework 13 laptop. It made it very clear to me that these guys, as well as a lot of people, probably don't understand what they're buying into when they buy a Framework. So we're just going to unwrap this, and we're going to skip the first half because I'll show a little segment. They don't exactly understand what it is that Framework is advertising.
Right.
Because they talk about the Framework desktop and describe it as the Framework modular desktop. Sorry about that. And they go on for quite a while about how it's not actually modular and how they don't understand as a business what modularity really is until they're corrected by their producer. I don't know why they kept this in, but they did. So we're just going to skip past it.
Hello and welcome to This Is. Let's customize our hate emails today.
Now, I did a video on this Framework 13 last year. And if I were to put it lightly, that is one of the most amount of grumpy town comments and emails I've gotten in a very long time. Have you actually spent any time with this laptop? Because I did daily drive it for a while.
No, I haven't, because it never at any point, when the company came out and they said, like, here's what we want to do, it appealed to me then. Ever since they've launched any of their products, none of them have appealed to me for a lot of reasons.
So they have, for the first time, a Framework modular desktop, which seems like a great idea until you remember the desktops have always been modular, and that's like not necessarily a new thing.
This is where Matt gets angered.
Why are you talking like that?
Okay, anger. Go ahead, get angry.
Because it's not a modular desktop. I don't think you know what that word means.
It's all unified memory, much like, when you get like Apple Silicon or something.
Sure.
Which means that you can outfit this with up to 128 gigs of RAM, and you can allocate almost all of that to the GPUs, like
That's
96
awesome.
gigs or something.
That is fantastic.
If you're buying this chip, no matter if you're getting it on a laptop or now on a desktop, it is a mobile chip, which means that it is meant to be soldered onto the motherboard. So even though you're buying a desktop, you cannot change this chip. It is built into the motherboard. And you also have to have the memory soldered on as well, which is a big no-no for the desktop being less flexible than a laptop.
The things that make a desktop modular?
They never said modular. They on the
they started ranting about something that was never said. That's crazy.
Just put that out there. The desktop, the entire product description page does not say modular.
Okay.
So these guys waste the first 3 minutes of their video talking about how this isn't actually modular until someone has to correct them. I mean, good freaking lord. Everybody's so hyped up these days on the latest and the greatest, but they're not worried about the sustainability and what it means as far as what the product serves.
I do think there is something to be said about. Thank you, well, appreciate it. I do think there is something to be said about the existence of a Framework desktop being. A desktop is a very repairable thing. Now, a small scale PC, that is a bit different, and that's what they're targeting. If you're looking at it in the context of this is a big desktop full tower case, yeah, absolutely, it's definitely less repairable than a regular desktop system because you can just swap out all the parts. But there is value in having a small-scale system, and that's what they're trying to target. They're trying to target, big deployments of them having on like a desk hidden in a corner. It's one of the it's whole one of the framework PC that you can use parts from the laptops. I don't actually know if it's the same chip. I don't want to say that. It very well might be, but I don't want to say that without being sure. Like, the laptops, I understand. I do think the desktop is a bit of a strange device, but I'm also not in the market for a small form factor PC. So, I am not... And also, the thing with Framework is they also have a upgrade path, right? Like, we look at the Framework Pro, the board from the original Framework fits in the Framework Pro board fits in the original Framework. So this is going to be a mini PC that they're most likely, their next board for the Framework desktop will fit in the current Framework desktop chassis. That is, like, the point of it. It is a mini PC that actually has an upgrade path, has a repairability path, has the ability to actually, like, you don't just have to throw it out when it's now too slow. You can repurpose that, but I don't know if it's the same board. Again, I'm not certain on that. I don't think it is. I'm going to say it's not. Feel free to correct me if somebody works out the answer.
Purpose for.
Okay, so we'll blame that one for Austin Evans. Their whole pitch as a company is modularity. So it no matter what...
No, their whole pitch of a company is repairability. The modularity is a very small part of that. The modularity is basically just the existence of the modular ports.
What it feels weird to have a product like this, but
their whole pitch as a company is for sustainability and right to repair, but you wouldn't know that because this has never appealed enough to you in order to try it out or get into it. You have clearly spent your entire career...
I think the entirety of his knowledge of Framework is... Like, let me show you the knowledge of... His knowledge of Framework. Framework... Customizable ports. This right here is his entire knowledge of Framework. This is where it begins and ends. There's nothing else after this. And if that's all Framework did, yeah, I would agree it'd be stupid. It'd be a dumb company. I wouldn't know why it would exist. But that's not what it is.
You're just buying a new item instead of trying to fix it yourself.
I want to point out, though, Apple got absolutely flamed when they started doing this. And it's just like...
Doing what?
Like, yeah, they're killing customization. They just want to make it so you can't upgrade your stuff. The trade-offs...
You know the reason why people had issues with that? It's because they went from full tower cases down to a mini PC. They eliminated... the mini PC for a long time. It came back. They eliminated the full tower. Sorry, they eliminated the full tower, turned that into a mini PC, and then have another mini PC. Sorry, I was confusing myself with what I was saying there. I didn't think the sentence through. That's the problem that people had with Apple. That they had full towers. They were selling full towers, and then just stopped selling full towers.
What you got with that was memory that was significantly faster. Do you remember when, like, their SSD came out that was like 7 gigs a second?
Yeah, Apple, they brought out, like, pretty fast SSDs early. Yeah, of course.
And like, they basically said, like, hey, in order to give you these
Also, he's arguing from not even knowing what the company does.
Amazing fast speeds. We have to do this. Then we see a product like this, and everyone's like, yo, this is great. It's giving us all this customization. Like, it's the same thing.
Well, everybody gave Apple shit until they did it.
Yeah, and Apple... Here's the difference between Framework and Apple. Do you know how much... I saw this fucking crazy thing. Someone went to Apple support and wanted to get their AirPods repaired. Apple quoted them higher than MSRP, it was more expensive to repair them than to buy new ones. That's why people don't like Apple.
Well, Apple also was taking away ports unnecessarily. They were destroying the keyboard on their laptops unnecessarily. They were limiting you to only 256 gigabytes of storage as a base soldered in, and it isn't even the fastest 6 or 7 gigabyte speed that you're claiming it is. A Samsung 990 Pro 2TB NVMe M.2 SSD that goes at about 7,450 megabytes a second, which is 7 gigabytes a second, goes for less than it costs to upgrade 200 gigabytes of Apple silicone. The speeds on the MacBook are quite literally half of the read speeds on a M.2 drive you could pop into your framework, so I don't know what you're talking about.
And you're going to be looking at PCs that are going to look a lot more like consoles. Like, I'm actually a pretty big fan of what they're doing with this.
Guys, it's a mini PC. It's literally a mini PC. Guys, it's literally... It is literally a mini PC. How are we... you know what? You know what I think it is? I think they saw this picture and didn't see the comparison image. I think they saw the picture by itself and thought it was a full tower. Or like a mid tower. Because it's not. It's very clearly not with the size comparison, and that's why they have the size comparison.
Understand the compromise that they've made.
I'm not opposed to the desktop itself.
Yeah.
And I've been saying the same thing. I've been saying like the big PC that you know and love right now is on its way out. Sure. But when your whole company is built on, we want you to be able to replace every part of this system, and then to come out with this part, with this product.
Does he know what frameworks? Has he ever looked at framework?
Which is the exact opposite of that philosophy. Just feels...
Brodie, my favorite e-kitten, I've missed you. Hello, a gay microwave. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. Why the hell do you have... Why do you have a duo badge? Where did you get that? Why do you have that?
It's weird.
I totally get what you're saying when you say that the PC market that we currently know of modular parts, where you buy your RAM, you buy your storage and your graphics card.
I have asked before. That makes sense. I still don't know. Okay, fair enough.
It's on its way out. I can totally see that in 10 years it's not going to look like it does today. But maybe this is a hot take of mine. I don't think it's a bad idea to go ahead and just do away with SODIMM RAM if I can split the memory between the graphics and the system. Because honestly, I could use a little more VRAM. You know how much it sucks editing a video on this laptop when I only get 4 gigs of VRAM, but I've got 32 gigs of system RAM? It really just doesn't end up mattering.
You don't want that. I can assure you, you don't. If it's gonna be GDDR5 speed, if it's gonna like GDDR speeds, yeah, you want that. But like, if it's gonna be, no. You don't want regular DDR speeds with your VRAM.
Mattering for programs like DaVinci Resolve. So if I can utilize a little bit more VRAM for my editing, amazing.
This device cost me $1,400 or something.
Yes.
And the spec that I got was a fraction of what I could have gotten if I would have not picked.
Yes, the performance is what... Oh my god. Of course you're not going to have top-end performance when they're offering the kind of parts they do. Yeah.
A modular device. Let me be a little bit more specific on that. This device has a Ryzen 5 processor. I outfitted it with 16 gigs of RAM. I think I got like a 1 terabyte SSD. Like, it was a moderate spec. And the problem with the device is that if you wanted to get a similar spec of laptop, you could go and easily spend half as much money and go down to your local Best Buy and have a laptop that has everything with it. Second
right.
of all, Framework's a small company. They're not getting the massive volume discounts
He does. How do neither of them know the point of this company?
That an HP or an Asus or a Lenovo are getting, which means that you are kind of footing the bill for that modularity. Now,
it's not modular!
Understand that when you foot the bill for the modularity, you're getting this chassis, which I can swap out. In fact, that is literally one of the things they announced, is that if you have a 13-inch laptop, you can now buy the latest AMD Ryzen AI processors. But I still have a concern about how expensive this stuff is. It's a compromised device. And I see people try to make with a straight face the argument.
How many of those laptops can you buy the framework? Okay, here you go. How many of those cheaper laptops can you buy the laptop and then 3-4 years from now buy the newer board and save yourself a bunch of money? How many of those can you buy? The answer is none of them, because Framework is the only one doing it. Technically, you can buy repair parts for some other devices, but they're not intended to be swapped in. You're gonna have to like really hack at the device, and even then, it's probably not gonna work.
That these are good values, and they are not good values.
These are good values because you're never going to be able to swap out your MacBook's M1 chip for an M2 chip. Or
pretty much.
What is it, M5 now they're coming out with? It's been attempted. I've watched videos of, what is his name, Luke Miani. He can't do it. It didn't work. And there's the guy, God, I can't remember his name right now. I'll flash an image of him on the screen. But he was on Linus Tech Tips showing how to upgrade the memory units, the Flash NAND, I think is what it's called. From the 256 to the 2 terabyte, and it was way cheaper than just paying Apple I don't even know how much. Let me pull it up on their website. He saved himself $800 by doing it himself, and the only reason that it's so like risky and not worth doing it is because you could damage the entire system because everything is soldered in. The value of the framework is sustainability, repairability, right to repair for that actually. And
thank you for the follow, appreciate it.
Your money buying all these different devices that have planned obsolescence. The whole idea of Framework is that you buy what you need when you need it. Now, is it pricey? Yeah, I would love to buy the the AI9 370 current, the top line AMD board. Heck yeah, I'd love to buy that, but it's $1,000. It's not worth it to me right now. I've got the 7640U. I'm gonna rock this main board probably. I had the laptop I had before this was a ThinkPad T460S, and I rocked that for about 8
ThinkPad which one's that? ThinkPad T460S. 2016 ThinkPad. See, I think a problem that Austin has is kind of similar problem that Linus has, where he has such access to top-end hardware that he has no idea what a normal high-end hardware is. How are frameworks and running Linux? Here, their recent one released with Ubuntu. Let me give you a great demo of what of how well it supports Linux. So this is the framework desktop page. They have a tab on this page called Linux. They have employees who their entire job is to support Linux. They have sent out for the new Framework Pro, they have sent out hardware to pretty much all the big distros. I don't know who at Arch got one, because there's other people at Arch who are very salty boys. But basically every big distro has been sent a Framework. Pretty much most of the big desktops have been sent a Framework as well. Picaros got one as well. I did not hear about Picaros. That's actually that's awesome. Fuck. Did they post about it? Oh, they don't have a Twitter. Yeah, that's awesome. I know of the list of people I know that got one. I'm 100% sure on. Kyle Goss, fucking whatever his last name is. Kyle from Bassite. Sorry, Kyle. I don't know how to say your name. I've known you for like fucking 3 years. I don't know how the fuck to say your last name. Kyle from Bassite. GE, from Nabara, Proton GE, various things. I believe someone at KDE got one. I know Vaxry got one from Hyperland. GNOME didn't get one because GNOME's been causing problems. They have a lot of people who are problem boys who cannot shut their mouth. I know DHH got one. Pikaros obviously got one. Obviously Canonical got at least a couple because they're working directly with Framework. I think Fedora might have got one, but I don't know who. Those are the ones I'm sure about. Arch also supposedly got one. I don't know who got one because other people in the Arch team are also being problem boys. But yeah, they've been sending out devices to fucking everyone.
Years until I got this, so I'm gonna rock this board probably for 8 years unless Framework sponsor me.
This is not the savior of the laptop space that you claim it to be. Oh, it's like, yeah, I can upgrade all these things, but the trade-offs on all of these are so, like, they might not look crazy when you're laying them out one by one.
Yeah, they might not look crazy when you look at each of the things they're doing. That's correct. They might not look crazy when you actually address what they're doing. True.
But when you add up, there's not a, besides the I can upgrade it, which is a very broad term, by the way. Like when a new CPU comes out, you're upgrading the entire motherboard for that.
True.
Like,
Which is
yes.
like $450,
which is
$700,
40% of the board, like of the cost of it.
Yeah, it is a lot.
The batteries.
40% of the cost? Yeah. Do you know what's... Yeah. That's less than the full cost. I know Americans can't do math, right? I understand that they can't do math, but like, seriously.
They ship with are tiny.
Well,
They're like in comparison to other devices.
With the 13-inch, you're getting like a 62 watt-hour battery, but I will say a lot of thinner, smaller devices have like 70 watt-hour batteries at this point. So
when
it's a
you're
little
talking about like, oh,
This is also not a problem with the new Framework Pro, so they've actually addressed that already.
I'm gonna keep this thing for 10 years. Your battery at the
Do you know what you can do? You can also replace the battery. Nah. Wait, you're telling me I can keep the screen, the shell, like the keyboard, the trackpad, and I just replace the battery? That sounds like a pretty good deal to me.
the end of a 10
You're buying a new battery.
The reason why this is the savior of the laptop space is because nobody is doing this anymore. Keyword anymore. Lenovo used to do this quite often. Apple even used to make pretty repairable laptops back in the day until they decided they wanted to make more money. You might be buying a new laptop with that money, but you're creating less e-waste. And Framework is such a new company, they're not going to have the latest and greatest. I mean, the Ryzen AI chips that they're using in their 13 originally came out without the capability of having SO-DIMM memory, but now they do. And who knows what advancements they're going to have, say, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, like you're saying. I'm willing to bet.
Or about 4 months from now. About 4 months from now. Wait, it popped off again after the Framework Pro video came out. That's crazy.
It's going to be great.
I want to talk about the port selection. When Apple came out and said, here's the MacBook Pro, it's got 4 Thunderbolt ports.
Oh no, what's he how are you going to say something stupid about the ports that you have control over? What are you going to possibly say about this being a bad thing?
People are like, they took away our ports. You get more ports on a 14-inch MacBook Pro than you do on a framework.
Let's see if that's true. There's 4 expansion slots on the Framework 13, but those expansion slots could quite literally be anything. So let's go ahead and start with the one that's built in. It's not even an expansion port. It's an audio jack. It says here they've got 27 different expansion card types, but let's count. Let's just make sure that we're not mistaken here, because it could be a technicality issue. So we got 3, 6, 9, and then a bunch of different colored USB-C ones. An option's an option, but let's go ahead and just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And if you want to go ahead and just mark it down to 9 because there's
and keep in mind, these are the first-party ones. There are third-party ones. And this is something really cool about Framework. They actually have licensed third-party ports from people. Like, if somebody makes something stupid, they are willing to support it.
Port expansion card, sure, why not? Let's look at the MacBook Pro, because I know the Air has only, like, what, 2 ports? Perfect picture. So on the MacBook Pro, which is supposed to be the pro unit of laptop, they got 1, 2, 3, 4.
They have an SD. That's crazy. I would not have expected that.
5 different types of ports on there. You got basically the same amount of variety you could have on this, with the only exception is their MagSafe proprietary charger, which I will admit I'm jealous of as a Framework owner. But that's besides the point. So we're looking at 9 different types of ports.
Someone made an RP2040 expansion card, and it gives you little GPIO pins on the side of your laptop. That's actually sick. Nah, that's crazy.
You can have on your Framework at any point, and you're looking at 5 different types of ports you could have on your MacBook at any point. Why in God's green earth are you settling for dongles when you could have a
Apple people love dongles.
laptop that lets you choose whatever port you want?
This is a processor that I think launched June of last year. I know people were kind of like,
Oh no.
giving me like crap about it because I was like complaining about how long it takes. But like, I don't know, I feel like if you're an enthusiast, you probably don't want to wait 9 months for the new processor to come out. Yeah, like.
Austin is so fucking... He's so detached from how regular people buy hardware. My latest GPU was a generation behind. The first time that I've bought a latest generation piece of hardware was my recent CPU upgrade. Before that, I don't think I've ever actually bought the latest gen hardware.
No,
I don't really understand that.
I also want to I want to be clear.
This isn't for the enthusiast. This is for the person that wants to be able to repair their laptop when it breaks. This is for the person who wants to have a laptop that they can just swap a part in and out instead of having to buy an entirely new unit. You're completely missing the point on this time and time again. It's ridiculous.
Like, a lot of my complaints, I actually don't blame Framework themselves for.
Yeah.
As much as I'm complaining about, like,
Hold up.
blame.
Again, it's
Is that
ridiculous.
the Breeze cursor?
Like, a lot of.
That's not Breeze cursor, is it? Breeze cursor. No, Breeze cursor. Okay, I thought we had a KDE user here. Okay, apparently not.
My complaints, I actually don't blame Framework themselves for.
Yeah.
As much as I'm complaining about, like, this looks bad with the way you customize, there's zero way that Framework could make that customization without it being even more ludicrously expensive. Project Aura failed for this exact reason.
It's not modular!
And that was the modular phone that Google were trying to bring
and
out.
that's with Google, who has just unlimited money.
And that's with Google, the company that has just created so many projects that still exist today, and they didn't just utterly give up on and then rebrand the same exact shit as something else. Google is a company that only cares about siphoning your data. They made a god-awful device and they didn't get any money out of it because it was a concept at best. Framework has created a genuine product. Wow. But when you're going to buy a Framework, you're looking to buy something that is going to last for the long term, doesn't have a planned obsolescence date, and overall is a net benefit purchase for.
I'm watching some awesome videos for helping me jailbreak my iPod.
World as a whole. I know I'm sounding very like, I don't know, preachy here. It's just a laptop. But if I wanted like something super fast and I didn't care about my privacy, I didn't care about fixing the things that I buy, yeah, I'd buy a MacBook. They do have a better price to performance ratio than this computer does.
This is why I know a lot of people like don't like MacBooks, but this is a big part of the reason why people really like Asahi Linux. People want to get that performance from the Apple laptops and use it on Linux.
Absolutely, but I don't want to sacrifice what I'm getting from the framework because I value the money I spend. I don't value throwing it away just to have the latest and the greatest.
12-inch is legitimately a cool little device. Framework essentially has built a smaller 12-inch laptop that is meant to be cheaper than the existing 13, so it's going to be somewhere south $750. I find there's a touchscreen, which friggin' finally. I can't believe they haven't been shipping touchscreens for a while.
I could not care less about a touchscreen in a laptop. Me personally.
Very much touch every screen I see, and if it doesn't work.
I don't understand. The only time I care about touching a screen is with a pen. Any other time, I think it is stupid. I know some people like it. Sure, if you like it, hey, that's great for you. I have fucking zero interest in a touchscreen without a pen. Now, it does have a pen, and that's nice.
I hate having fingerprints on the screen.
Well, then don't touch it.
Yeah, I also don't care about having a touch screen. I don't want fingerprints on my screen either. I'm right there with Matt on that. There's just no point, in my opinion. If you want a touch screen, I mean, that's great. I would use one if it had one, but I don't care if they never come out with a touch screen.
You mean a stylus? Yes. Yes. I said pen, stylus. You know what I'm talking about.
What I do care about is if the main boards have support for touchscreens, which they do. Because the whole point of Framework also that I haven't mentioned is that you could take these main boards and then just create your own project. If you've ever heard of the Beth Deck, it's a Steam Deck DIY project that you make out of a Framework mainboard. And I believe it has a touchscreen, and you would need the capabilities of touch input, which luckily the Framework mainboard includes.
No, I want to go through the list of the compromises.
Go for it.
Linked in Discord. Where? In general? Where? React? Here we go. Just posting about my RP40 board for feedback posterity. How did I do? Is there a better way to expose the pins for general? That's so fucking stupid. I love that. Yeah, of course, 3D printed. This is not something I would ever use, but I guess if you want GPIO pins, fucking there you go.
And add them all up for you guys. Like, you're buying almost outdated hardware.
That's...
What are you guys running? What's in your system? CPU, GPU? What do you got? How many of you guys are running outdated hardware? Give me a list of your CPUs and GPUs. Do you want to know? Because I normally wouldn't be running hardware as fast as I have. Okay, you don't you don't count. 13700K and an RX 9070. Okay, sure. 7730U, no discrete GPU, 4080. I'm AM4, R5 5600X. Yeah, you're all running, besides the fucking, the guy in the, okay. Yeah, okay. i9 13980HX. Shut the fuck up. 4060 and 64 gigs of RAM. 10th gen i7 with a 1660. Okay, yep, that's a system. Yeah, you're all on outdated hardware. This is what normal people buy.
So there's the biggest one there.
Yep.
You have, again, the smaller battery
Which has been fixed in the Pro.
Lower quality screen than a lot of laptops with a non-OLED.
It's okay.
I do not give a shit about OLED. If there is a time and a place for OLED. OLED for displays you're going to use where you care about the content. Now, if you're doing like video editing or image editing, sure, but for regular use, I don't give a shit about an OLED. Burn-in, lesser a problem nowadays. We have pixel shifting. I don't give it. I've looked at OLEDs. I've looked at micro LED. They're great. I just don't care.
Name one thing besides the upgradability.
Yeah.
Why are you putting that in quotes?
About this that's amazing.
Repairability.
All right, let's start with the fact that he said you're buying outdated hardware. Dude, it is still a damn good machine. Just because it didn't come out the year.
Let's find out. Let's actually find out. Framework, let's go to the base framework 13. Framework 13. 13, here we go. So, specs. Release year 2025. Let's go with the bottom tier CPU, the Ryzen AI 5340. That launched in 2025. Right. Let's go the top one. Launched in... launch date. That also launched in... No, that launched in mid-2024. Okay. Okay.
You're recording your video doesn't mean that it's like...
No, don't get me wrong. If somebody gives me an... Like, if I have a device with an OLED... Great, it has an OLED. I'm not gonna fucking care. If the question is... I'm spending my own money on something where I have the choice of an OLED or a not, or not, I probably just won't care about the OLED, frankly.
Incapable of doing the work you need it to. Get the hell over yourself. Let's talk about the battery. I do agree that the battery could be bigger.
Yeah.
I don't know how
now.
that works or what they could do. They've already done it.
They just make the chassis just a little bit bigger.
The 55 watt hour to the 61 watt hour, but I feel like you could cram a little more battery into this. But what excites me most is that chips will continue to come out that will be more power efficient while being more powerful in their process. Therefore, the battery sort of gets negated over time. However, yes, I think they should try to figure out any way to increase the battery. The screen being low quality is very subjective. I think this is one of the nicest screens I have on any device I have aside from like...
Exactly! Right there! He just said it. This is one of the nicest screens on any devices I have. Austin is someone with access to micro LED screens, with ProArt displays, with just these like 8K insane displays that you look at the shops and they're $15,000. None of you have one of those because that's more expensive than your car, most likely.
My Galaxy S25, but it's perfectly fine. It's really nice, actually. I don't understand what the complaint is. I don't know what you're looking at. This is a damn good screen. What's amazing about this, besides the upgradability, is the usability of the board. You don't have to just keep it in this laptop. You can take the main board out and you can turn it into a little mini PC. You can turn it into a streaming device. You could turn it into a NAS server. Not a NAS server. You could turn it into like a little local server. You could
turn into a NAS if you wanted to.
A multitude of things. The Beth deck, like I mentioned, like your own DIY Steam Deck. There's so much you can do with this platform. It's completely open sourced. All the schematics are out there. You can 3D print basically everything. I think I remember seeing somebody made a cardboard framework laptop, which is hilarious to me. You don't get that with a MacBook. You buy a MacBook, that is it. That is all it is ever going to be for you. And if you lose connectivity to the keyboard, like if something goes wrong inside there, or if the trackpad goes out, or if the screen gets busted, or whatever.
GTX 1060. Fuck.
You gotta send it to Apple. They're the only ones who can fix it. And I think there are Apple certified people out there still.
They exist.
But from what I understand, it's so expensive to have an Apple certification, like for right to repair. It makes no sense for you to do it. You might as well just send it to Apple and overpay for all of this stuff. I mean, I've got a dead pixel on this laptop. Doesn't bother me, but I know there's people out there who it would bother and they would want to replace it. With Framework, it's like...
My second screen over here has had a dead pixel for about 5 years. If it was my main display, it would bother me. It's not, so I don't think about it.
$160. With Apple, several $100s. You might as well just buy a new laptop and create more e-waste and waste more money. Another thing I want to mention too, something that's great about this, is the lack of planned obsolescence, especially with Linux. You can't really install Linux on an Apple Silicon Mac.
He didn't even know at this point. When, again, as we said before, when the Framework Pro came out, the boards from the Framework and the boards from the Pro, you can swap them back and forth. The only thing that doesn't go back, like isn't backwards compatible, is the new battery, just because it is physically bigger.
MacBook. You can, but it's very finicky from what I understand. This is the greatest company to ever support Linux because they create the hardware and then sponsor these different projects making distros so that they can help with drivers.
Why does he keep zooming in his face? Because he's a funny face.
And kernel implementations to make it such a smooth experience. The only reason I bought this laptop is because I'm a Linux user and I wanted to buy from a company that one, allows me to repair every little bit of the laptop, and two, has incredible Linux support. So this is a 10 out of 10 company in my book just for those reasons alone.
This came out, everyone thought, like, you know what, if I want to put an OLED in here,
well, at some point they might offer another screen option, maybe.
But they might. This is my problem with it. They might offer it.
Yeah. Do you know what Dell's gonna do? They won't offer it.
They might do this. They might do that. It's not customizable if there's no options to customize.
There will be options down the road. This is a new company.
He still thinks it's about custom. He doesn't even know what Framework is. It's not about modularity and customizability. That's not their goal.
And the whole OLED argument, again, I'm beating a dead horse here, I know, but Apple doesn't even offer OLED options for their laptops. So what is this dumbass?
I wonder if Narav's ever talked about Framework OLED screen option. Does the Pro have a... No, the Pro doesn't, does it? I don't know if Narav's ever talked about it, but it's definitely something he's probably been asked somewhere.
Argument you're trying to make. They might be able to do all these things, but they also might not if the message keeps getting spread that this is just a company not worth buying into. Framework has to be incredibly strategic. They have to do so much work to be able to get themselves to a point where they can be like Apple. People are just so like locked in on the consumerist mindset, and they just want to buy the latest and the greatest and the shiniest and the fastest. They miss sight of things like repairability and sustainability, and they miss sight on what true value is. I mean, yeah, time is money. Like I said earlier, if I wanted a super fast laptop and I didn't care about anything at all I wanted was the fastest for the cheapest price, I'd probably go with an Apple laptop. But I mean, it would literally be a work unit that as soon as I was done with the job would get sold off. With a Framework, I'm keeping it. And this is why it holds so much value to me. Anyway, guys, in all seriousness, go check out this video in its entirety. there's more in here than what I have given you, and maybe you have your own opinions. Maybe you agree with them. Maybe you should give them a like. Thanks again for watching, and if you like this video, go ahead, give it a like, give it a subscribe, and I will see you next time.
That was a good video. The guy's only got 1.2k subs. Let me swap to the main channel and give him a sub. Here we go. What does he actually do? I have no idea. Apple needs to change fast. Framer, is this just nothing but... This is just a framework channel. It's literally just a framework shield channel. I love it.
Hello, and welcome back.
Let me send you guys the link. Secretly framework employee. He's part of Lewis Rossman's Clippy movement. I did notice that, yes. Anyway, that was a good video. I like that. What do we go to from here? That is the question. Because that one took us a lot longer than I thought it would have.